Auzubillahiminashaitanirrajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. When we talk of today's world, especially the Muslim world, I see a lot of Muslim people struggling while doing business. Recently, I was watching a video in which a person who was related with transportation, he was really worried and was saying that he couldn't earn anything since morning, especially being a Muslim. When we talk of business strategies, when we talk of doing business, when we talk of earning a livelihood, there are two ways. One is doing a job, be it a government sector, be it a private sector, and another is doing a business. Leave what the Westerners tell you about entrepreneurship, being a millionaire, being a billionaire, leave aside that. I'll give simple rules from the companion of the beloved Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So when we talk of the companions of the beloved Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, one of the greatest companions of the beloved Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was Hazrat Abdul Rahmaan ibn Auf radiallahu anhu. And it's said that if we estimate the wealth of Abdul Rahmaan ibn Auf radiallahu anhu in today's time, Hazrat Abdul Rahmaan ibn Auf radiallahu anhu will easily keep people like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos in his pocket. So that was the amount of wealth Hazrat Abdul Rahman ibn Auf radiallahu anhu had. So what were the top business strategies of Hazrat Abdul Rahman ibn Auf radiallahu anhu? So the first strategy he used was never taking anything from anyone. Leave aside loans, especially on interest. Hazrat Abdul Rahman ibn Auf radiallahu anhu taught us to never take anything from anyone. There are people, especially when I talk of my own Kashmir brothers, when they start a business, they first run to the bank, take a huge hefty loan, and God forbid if they are not able to make up to that business plan. And how will they when there is a curse of the beloved Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam on taking a loan based on riba, based on interest? And there are many Muslim brothers and sisters who take money from their relatives, from their friends, from nears and dears, and then they have this tension to clear that debt. And in that tension, they are not able to focus on their business. So the easiest and the first and the foremost plan is start with what you have. Never take anything from anyone. I'm really surprised at how the non-locals who work in Kashmir, how the Westerners know this very business strategy very well. They start with zero. They start with what they have. If they have 500 rupees, if they have 1,000 rupees, if they have 10,000 rupees, they start with that. They start a very small business. They start a very small setup, selling a meager pen, and then they move on. And this is the first step towards starting your business. Then what's the second step? Hazrat Abdul Rahman ibn Auf radiallahu anhu, he never used credit. In today's world, especially when we talk of Muslims, Kashmiri Muslims, what they do is that they give and take on credit. So the second rule of Hazrat Abdul Rahman ibn Auf radiallahu anhu as a businessman was to never do business on credit. One more important rule of Hazrat Abdul Rahman ibn Auf radiallahu anhu was the rule of less profit. Once Hazrat Abdul Rahman ibn Auf, he had some camels, and the camels couldn't be sold till evening. For example, Hazrat Abdul Rahman ibn Auf radiallahu anhu had brought them for 100 dinars. In the evening, when they were not sold, one businessman came and he took the camels. Hazrat Abdul Rahman ibn Auf radiallahu anhu didn't take any profit from them. He got it for 1,000 or 100 dinars and then sold it in the same rate, because his third rule was keep the business going, even if it be less profit or zero profit. But what he did, and see how Almighty Allah was always there for this very strategy of Hazrat Abdul Rahman ibn Auf radiallahu anhu. Almighty Allah, when taking the camels, Hazrat Abdul Rahman ibn Auf radiallahu anhu told the businessman, keep the ropes. The businessman took the camels and left the ropes. One another person came and that person took all the ropes and paid that to Hazrat Abdul Rahman ibn Auf. And it said that from among those ropes, Almighty gave profit to Hazrat Abdul Rahman ibn Auf radiallahu anhu. So these are some of the basic strategies when we talk of doing business. So remember these, and hope our Muslim brothers and sisters who are new entrepreneurs, who are trying to start up their business, they look for the ideas, the rules and regulations from beloved Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, the greatest businessman ever, and his companions, especially Hazrat Usman radiallahu anhu, especially Hazrat Abdul Rahman ibn Auf radiallahu anhu. Allahu Akbar.